All right, coming up this episode, we're going to cover this week's matchup against Alabama.
I think it's about time for us to turn the tides.
I sure hope so.
Drop the beat.
Let's get it.
This is the Cockstrong Gamecocks podcast with Greg and Reg, bringing you all the latest sports news from inside the minds of a couple of Cockstrong Gamecocks fans. So sit back, relax, stay tuned, and stay cocky.
All right, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Cockstrong Gamecocks podcast with Greg and Reg. As always, we appreciate you joining, however you may be listening and wherever you may be listening from. Thank you for making us a part of your day.
Definitely appreciate you.
This week, we have Alabama coming into town. Fresh off of a 37-20 win versus Tennessee last week. They're coming in as 13.5-point favorites. Over under set at 47.5. They have a real Heisman Trophy candidate coming to town. He's been real good this season. He's been pretty great. Almost 2,000 passing yards already. He'll cross that Saturday. He only needs 69 more to get there, so he's going to get that this weekend.
Cox from
18 touchdowns, 1 interception on 70% completion percentage. That's very impressive. This team, they lost to Florida State. Remember that to begin the season, and they haven't been beaten since. They've won close games against tough opponents. They've blown out the teams they were supposed to blow out, and they really start once again to look like the class of the conference. What do you think?
Yeah, man. This is seems like it's on the brink of something terrible for us, man. Like, I try to cage that fan or that optimistic person inside of myself that feels like, oh, we can catch Bama slipping, because that still lives in me. I must admit that that part of me as a Gamecock fan does not die. But it will be extremely tough for us to pull this out. It will take a lot out of us to get this win. I feel like, so I think we as fans need to brace ourselves and adjust our expectations a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. They have been strong this year. There's no hiding that fact. Let me run some numbers by you.
Fat man Greg.
They score about 35 points a game.
Damn.
About 423 yards per game. They're very potent compared to our offense. We score 20 points a game, and we under 300 yards per game on offense. 129th out of 136 qualified teams. So we are near the bottom when it comes to offense. They have a just as good defense. 17 points a game. They give up 310 yards per game they give up, which is both top 25 in the country. So, we have a tough task ahead of us. We'll talk more later on in the 3 keys about what we're going to need to do to have a chance this week.
One of them keys might be going to church. Going to church and praying. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one after what we're seeing. Feels like we can't win with what we've been seeing, so we have to see something completely different. We gotta, as a fan, I have to sit here and believe that we're gonna see something completely different than what we saw, which is, I think none of us have seen what we expected to see. So I guess like seeing something different may be like us feeling like we're getting back to where we should be, but it looks like more and more every week, like where we're at is where we're at, and where we should be is where we're at. Like I don't know how, with Bama is tough. Again, there's still that little bit. There's still that little bit of dumbass in me that feels like, we can catch them slipping. They're coming to Willie B. We know how tough it is in Willie B. There's been times, I remember, there's been times that I thought for sure there was games we couldn't win, and we came out and we beat Bama. We came out and we beat Georgia, but man, those teams seem to have some spirit.
This feels different this year.
Feels spiritless.
It's just tough to even think that we could compete this week, but we'll talk and give our predictions more on our Cockstrong SEC picks of the week later on.
Exactly.
But for now, yeah, we're in the middle of a very tough stretch of games. This is number 3 of the Eliminator Challenge that we played a couple weeks ago, and say we're climbing up that cargo net right now. And I just hope we don't slip off.
I feel like we would have already been eliminated at this point. We don't make it to the finale, but we're gonna drag a team there,
We're gonna make it. We're just gonna fall off the obstacles a couple times. We fell off the hand bike for sure last week. It took us a little while to get up the ramp the first week. It hasn't been a good. Maybe we'll finish strong. The tide could turn this week.
I mean, I love the Gladiator reference, but the way we've been playing, it's been more like Wipeout. We on the wall and boom, got hit with the glove. We in the mud now. This has been more like Wipeout than Gladiators, but I do love the reference.
Gladiator was always, that was one of my favorite shows.
So yeah, for sure, me too.
It's easy to make that reference for me. Wipeout is more of the. So I may have seen it once or twice.
Good.
So let's talk about our Cockstrong 3 keys to the game. Just gonna jump right into it. My first key, we have to, and these are all hopeful keys. This is things I feel like if we do, we'll have a chance to win this game. But we've shown already that that's not always the case. But
that's for sure.
Here we go. Key number 1. We have to try to win the time of possession battle. Try to sustain some drives. Keep this high-powered offense off the field. To do this, we're going to have to find some kind of consistency on offense. Hopefully we can establish some kind of a running game, convert some third downs. Right now, it's not good on third down. That's key number 1.
Yeah.
Keep them off the field.
Man, again, yeah. I mean, wonderful key. Definitely important. Definitely important. It's almost like these keys are like, these are like the 3 wishes you get when you rub on a genie bottle. Cause get kind of strong. So but yeah, that's one, because that means we gotta convert third downs. That means we gotta not run the ball on 3rd and 8. That means a lot of things has to happen in order for that part to happen. So yeah, that is as DJ Khaled would say, a major key.
On to key number 2. Plain and simple, we have to protect the football. Couple of turnovers and this game could get ugly, and it could get ugly quickly. They don't need any help from us. They're already good enough. They already come in with a +9 turnover margin, which is ranked number 4 in the country. So they don't need our help. We need to protect the ball. Safe, efficient throws. We talk about throwing the ball down the field. This may not be the week to take too many shots, but
No.
if you're feeling it, I'd do it. But right now, we need to protect the ball. Hopefully have a game plan, short passes, an extension of the running game. And that's kind of what we need this week for ball control. What you think about that, Keith?
Yeah, protecting the ball, keeping the ball, holding the ball, keeping the ball out of their hands. It all sounds like a great plan to me. Um, and I hope that we can pull it off. So you got me. I'm with you 100%. I don't, each key I think that you're bringing up, each key, there's like you know, it's like it's some other keys that open that same door. You got to get through this door and that door and that door to get to that door. So yeah, we definitely need to do the things we need to do to end up at these spots. That's for sure.
Definitely. Key number 3, and we've talked about this for our offense. Now we're going to talk about it for our defense. It's the big play, and we need to not give up the big play this weekend. Alabama lives off the big play this year. Like I said, they're averaging 35 points a game. You don't do that dinking and ducking down the field. You do that from throwing the ball down the field.
Going deep.
So you do that from sustaining drives. They convert third down 50% of the time this year. That's 19th in the country. On the other hand, we're allowing third down, our defense, 44% of the time, which is 116th in the country. That has to change, and it has to change quickly this week. We haven't really given up many big plays this year. We only give up 186 yards a game passing, which is 29th in the country. Rushing defense has really been the issue most of the season. It's going to be a big test playing against Ty Simpson. Like I said, he comes in with very impressive numbers. Heisman candidate, the whole nine, playing for quite possibly the best team in the country, arguably. So the coverage is going to have to be on point. We're going to have to hopefully load the box and stop their running game. So I'm looking for a big day for DQ, Jalen, Peyton, for our secondary to shut those guys down.
Cock strong, load the box. That's all we got to do. Just get in there and, we got to get physical. I've been waiting for it. You have to win a line of scrimmage. I feel like, we talked about it. I feel like, these scouts, we said they get paid to see and read what we're doing, and I don't get paid, and I can see that we can be beat in the trenches. That I can see that if you blitz us, we don't know what to do. If you pressure us, and I see the scouting reports. So yeah, man, like we gotta break the mold. They said we haven't given up a lot of big plays, so we don't need to. We need to continue to stay on that. But we gotta get off the field. We gotta get off. We can't go. They can't go 6 for 6 on third downs.
That 5,000 cuts,
man. So I agree with you. I'm with you 100%. If you guys think that it's something else, another key that Greg missed, get at him at the stat man, and let him know what you think the key should be. He'll be more than willing to talk to you or hear what you got to say, and then maybe we highlight your key or highlight you on our next episode. So we love to hear from you.
That's right. And that's us for today. We appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, everywhere.
Run us down, Chase. Doses.
At night, when this place is rocking like this is the best environment.